Hey y'all, this is Robert at libpatent, and this is a product demo. And in this demo, what we're going to do is conduct a little exercise to try and get a grip on what's going on in the CRISPR subject matter area. Who's pursuing patent protection, who is filing applications, who's working together, etc., just to get a big picture idea. Now, the way we're going to do this is we'll start by searching for CRISPR. This kind of makes sense as a logical first step, and we'll search for patents. Now, we get a number of results here, which is a typical search result sort of page. And normally we might start clicking on these and reviewing their specifications and claims, kind of taking notes, keeping track of who's associated with which patent. But since we're trying to get the big picture here, I'm going to go ahead and go down to more results and just add more to it. So I just clicked more. Now the reason I'm doing this is that I'm building a results set, which is all the results on a search result page. And there's this kind of secret button down here in the bottom left that when we click on it, it will add all of the things in the result set to a visual display for us to explore. Now you can do that with companies or inventors or other entities. Here we did patents, and each type of record will have a default behavior. For a patent, it's going to include the patent's family members on the graph when it's displayed, as well as the applicants associated with those patents. And we kind of zoom out, we see some disconnected little clusters here, and then this massive patent family in the center. And so we'll just zoom in on that and take a look. Now one of the things we can do is on the right here, we can turn off edge labels to try and make it a little bit less busy here. This is a huge family. Already we can see who the applicants are. It's the Broad Institute and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Looks like the Rockefeller University is in there, as well as Institut Pasteur. Here's Editas Medicine, associated with this patent, which also associated with Massachusetts Institute of Technology and the Broad Institute. And here's Harvard. So this might be considered the Boston contingent over here. Now one of the things we can do to start looking at this family to get a sense for it is we can just select a patent in it. That'll pull up its title here on the left. And something that's nice to do is to use this button over here that says View on Fresh Graph. When I click this, it will open a new window focused on the selected patent. And again, it's loaded its family members and the applicants. And we see here the Broad Institute and MIT. Now we can explore this family a little bit better when it's on its own graph. It's a little bit more clear, it's less busy. So we can select these assets, take a look at them, see how they're related, and start investigating. We can load up the abstract and exemplar claim, and we can also take a peek at file wrapper activity here on the familiar calendar. Okay, something else we can do that's kind of neat is each entity type or record type will have, generally speaking, a contextual search option. That's over here on the left, and when we select it, a search bar comes up. Now, for an application, we can search its file wrapper or its application family for keywords. So I'm curious to know if perhaps any of these patents in the application family have to do with human CRISPR. So I'll go ahead and run that search. Hopefully it will be pretty quick. It, of course, depends on the size of the family. And we get a bunch of results. So that's kind of interesting. We might want to dig into these. We can click the Add to IP graph that will highlight the application that we just selected on the search. And here it is, and its connections in here. Okay, so let's go back to the main view. We've kind of shown how we might explore this family in more detail. Another thing that we're sometimes interested in doing is finding out the connections in the big picture. So here we have the General Hospital Corporation, And I'm curious to know how it's connected to the Broad Institute and this larger body of research. Are they licensing from the Broad Institute? Are they collaborating? These kinds of questions. There are many other questions this can answer. It's a very powerful feature. So I go over here to the left and I click Find Connections. That brings up this search bar, which will let me select what kind of entity we're going to connect to. So here it's the Broad Institute. It comes up, and we're presented with this menu here with these checkboxes. And what this is allowing us to do is to say how we want to find out, like through what other entities are they connected. It's essentially finding the shortest path through the database between the two entities. So in this case, I'm just going to go through companies, and we'll let it run. Depending on the types of entities and how many you've selected, that operation can take a while, so a little bit of patience is required. So let's zoom in here. We were trying to connect the Broad Institute to the General Hospital Corporation. We zoom in, and we have these entities here: the University of Kansas, National Institutes of Health, Purdue, University of Utah. Okay, so something we can do, it depends on the types of entities involved, but here the University of Utah, which collaborated on a patent with the Broad Institute and Editas, is connected to the General Hospital Corporation. Let's see how. So we can select this edge, and then we can check to add patents that were assigned between the two entities. There were none, or inventors that have worked on patents for either of these two entities. There we go. Okay. So now we have a list of inventors here that have worked for both, and we can select these inventors and view them on a fresh graph, find connections, contextual search, all of these things. Here's one that looks interesting: Keith Jung, and they are connected to the General Hospital Corporation and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is then connected to the Broad Institute. So we can select an inventor, go to a contextual search, and search for CRISPR. Okay, so Keith Jung might be an interesting connection between these entities regarding CRISPR research. We'll go ahead and click Add to add those patents. Okay, so as you can see, we could go through here entity by entity, doing contextual searches, adding relevant patents, removing patents, and build a pretty comprehensive view. So what I'm going to do now, and I'll probably fast forward because it'll take a while, is I'm going to go to all these other islands here and run a find connection search to try and connect them and get a big picture put together. So I'll do that now, and hopefully we'll be able to edit that to be a little bit quicker. Okay, so we've now found connections between all of the little clusters of applicants and their patents in the CRISPR patent subject matter area. In other words, all the issued patents for CRISPR are on here now that the database is aware of, which is pretty good. Their associated family members and applications, their applicants, and how those applicants are connected. So, for example, many of the ways that they're connected may not be relevant at all. We might find in here some companies that are connected because they have a security interest in a particular patent associated with that entity. Here's JP Morgan Chase, for example. It's possible they're doing CRISPR research. I don't know. Seems unlikely. So one interesting thing that we can do now, though, is explore the intermediary entities. For example, here's Caribou Biosciences. They have some patents related to CRISPR technology. And we can see how they're connected to, for example, the General Hospital Corporation right here. So the General Hospital Corporation has some kind of contact with Pfizer, which Pfizer has some contact with Jennifer Doudna, and Jennifer Doudna is an inventor associated with Caribou Biosciences. So it seems plausible that Pfizer might be participating in the CRISPR technology area. And of course we can check. We can do a contextual search on a company for patents and applications. So I will search for CRISPR applications, and something came up. So I can click Add to IP Graph. That will add that application here. We can now click on that application and see what it is, view its abstract, and we can check its file wrapper status. So it looks like it was filed in November of 2016. Now, there's a lot of stuff here to explore, and that would take a while, and this has already been a long video. So what I will do is I will explore a little bit more, and I will post a link right below this video that you can then click on and continue this exercise and explore this subject matter if you're interested. And to do that, a final note on the right here, there is this little link icon that when I click this, I will be able to generate a link that will then be shareable. And anyone that has this link with this long kind of pseudo-secure token will be able to view this workspace, so you can share this. There is another mechanism to share that's more secure if you want to protect work product, but this is what I will use. So you can find this link below the video and explore the direction this went. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it, and I hope this is helpful for you. Thanks. Bye.